Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Every week, we need the embrace of Shabbat to wash away the accumulated stress and strain of the week that has been, to breathe in the peace, tranquility, joy, and love of just being together on the day of rest. There are weeks that give more than they take. This was a week that took more than it gave for many of us. We are here with broken hearts. Our prayer is that this sacred place will be a place where brokenness may not become whole, but will be held. I'm Rabbi Jonathan Blake. I'm joined by Cantor Amanda Kleinman, Rabbi Alyssa Platkow, and our rabbinic intern, Micah Glickman. In leading tonight's Shabbat service, we'd like for you to take a moment and maybe take the gaze and even the hand of somebody who's sitting near you, but not necessarily next to you. So turn around, wish that person Shabbat Shalom, make a new friend.
I'd like to introduce as well the musicians who are helping to lead our worship tonight. Our pianist and conductor, Pete Malinverney, and I know my heart needed to hear the sound of the violin tonight, and we're so happy to have Julie Kurtzman, who is joining us on violin this evening.
To bring some light into this dark time for Am Yisrael, for the Jewish people, we'll invite up Caroline Koike and her family to light our Shabbat candles. If you'd like to follow along with the bracha, the blessing, we're on page 120.
Asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel.
Amen.
Caroline, it's not just that you bring light into all of our lives by kindling these flames for Shabbat, but it's also that you bring light into our lives by ascending to the Torah as a bat mitzvah on Thursday at 5 p.m. It's really with people like you as a part of Am Yisrael who are ready to say, I'm ready to be a Jewish adult. I'm ready to accept this mantle of what it means to be a part of this tribe. It's with people like you that we know that no matter how dark the path is before us, we'll always be guided with light. So Shabbat Shalom and Mazal Tov. We'll continue now on page 142 with Shalom Aleichem, this everlasting wish of peace. Peace to you, peace to all of the world, peace to Am Yisrael.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharei, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei
page 138, Lechado D.
Lechadodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. Lechadodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekabela. שמור וזכור בדיבורך, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשמו תפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם לשוחה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי. אורי, אורי, שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי ושלום עטרת מעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
It seems like we had many Shabbat brides today. So wonderful for all of you to be with us. So wonderful to be with all of you. We'll stay standing for the Baruch Hu, our official call to prayer, page 148.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
We turn now to Ahavat Olam, page 150.
Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. אוהב עמו ישראל. אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Mi Chamocha, our people's song of freedom, what we keep pushing towards, even when our paths are not brightly shining, even when they aren't lit. This freedom shines brightly at the end of the tunnel. Let's keep moving towards freedom. 158.
There's a powerful passage of Torah. Aaron, the high priest, brother of Moses, leader of the Jewish people, has just learned that 2 of his 4 sons have been struck down in fire and killed, Nadav and Abihu. 2 words the Torah gives us at that moment, Vayidom Aharon. Aaron was silent. There are times when our grief is so immediate and profound that it almost seems a desecration to add words. Maybe we should just hold the silence. And at the same time, we're really angry this week. We are profoundly sad. And we will not be silenced in our anger and our sadness. And most of all, we will not be silent in our prayer and in our love. So every word we offer tonight, we offer as part of the global Jewish family. We offer it as a way of saying to our brothers and sisters in Israel, we are with you in our pain, in your pain. We are with you in your anger and your shock and sadness. We may not have all the words to tell you how we feel, nor do you have the words to tell us how you feel, but we will feel together. In the months after October 7th, our friend and teacher who frequently holds forth over Zoom and occasionally visits from Israel, Dr. Rachel Korazim, who's a wonderful Jewish educator and translator of literature and poetry, began to collect the astonishing outpouring of creative writing that was coming out of Israel in response to the horrors of October 7th and the ongoing trauma since October 7th. Shortly before the first Yortzeit of October 7th, that is in 2024, which happened to be bookended, as you'll recall, by Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, kind of creating a third High Holy Day this year, the book was published, containing many of the choice poems that have given expression to the words that have no words. It's called Shiva, which of course is the word for Shiva, the period of most immediate grief, but also it means 7, as in October 7th. From the chapter called Hostages, a poem called Tfilah by Avital Nadler. Tfilah, prayer. כשתחזרי, נשב רק שתינו במקלחת, את בתוך המים הרכים, אני מולך, אחפוף בעדינות את שערך, אמחק את כל זיכרונותייך, אשיר לך שיר על יקינתון, וגשם שדגדג את החלון, אנקך היטב בין אצבעות רגלייך. כל גרגר של מנהרות, אספר לך על ירח שזרח כל כך הרבה לילות כאן בלעדייך. אמחה את דמעותיי מעל פנייך, ודמעותייך ישטפו בזרם מים רך. אקלט צמח בשרך, אלביש אותך פיג'מה, רק שתינו במיטה, וחיבוק של דאגה, ותקווה, ואהבה, ופחד ותפילה, שלא תהיה הפעם הבאה. When you return, we'll sit, just the 2 of us, in the shower, you in the gentle water, I facing you. I will gently wash your hair, erase all your memories. I will sing to you the song of the hyacinth and of the rain tickling the window. I will carefully clean between your toes every trace from the tunnels. I will tell you about the moon that shone so many nights when you weren't here. I will wipe the tears off your face. The gentle water will wash them away. I will braid your hair, dress you in pajamas, just the 2 of us in bed, a caring hug, hope, love, fear, and a prayer that there will never be a next time. In the nighttime liturgy, Hashkivenu was transposed from the setting of a prayer offered literally in bed, just as one turned out the light and was about to go to sleep, asking God for divine protection from all that might cause harm in the night. And even when there are no Hamas monsters outside the door, the trauma will always be there when we turn out the light. Hashkivenu, we'll sing together. You'll find the prayer on page 160.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim l'chaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim l'chaim ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim l'chaim May you shelter us in peace until the morning comes. May you lay us down with love, and may you raise us up. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'hamidenu shomreinu l'chaim
L'chaim. 164.
Adonai Sefatai tiftach Ufi yagid Open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor ve'Hanora, El
ציון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. We offer you this time for your own prayers. If it's your custom to remain standing while you pray, please do so. If it's your custom, you may choose to take your seats. You may offer the prayers as they appear on the page, but you don't need words to pray. Take these moments of quiet.
This is the song that opened yesterday's memorial at Hostage Square in Tel Aviv. Ki kulanu kain kulanu, kulanu rikma enoshit achat chaya, v'im echad me'itanu holech me'imanu, mashahu met banu umashahu nishar ito. Because all of us, yes, all of us are one living human tapestry. And if even just one of us departs from among us, something dies within each of us, and something stays with them. כשאמור משהו ממני ימות בך
ימות בך כשתמות משהו ממך בי משהו ממך בי ימות איתך ימות איתך כי כולנו כן כולנו כולנו רקמה אנושית אחת חיה ואם אחד מאיתנו הולך מימנו משהו מת בנו משהו נשאר איתו אם נדע איך להרגיע איך להרגיע את האיבה אם רק נדע אם נדע להשכיב את זעמנו על אף עלבוננו לומר סליחה אם רק נדע כי כולנו כן כולנו כולנו רקמה אנושית אחת חיה ואם אחד מאיתנו הולך מימנו אז משהו מת בנו משהו נשאר איתו נשאר איתו
Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Last week, we read from Yitro, the parsha in which the Israelites received the Ten Commandments. The Torah described a stunning scene illustrating all of the pomp and circumstance that revelatory moment offered in grave detail. And what a drama it was. The Eternal coming down in flame and fire upon a quaking mountain, speaking with a thunderous voice over the sound of a loudening horn. So great was the spectacle of the divine encounter that the people feared for their lives and fell back to witness it from afar. But if you thought that a measly 10 commandments was a big deal, let me tell you that tonight you're in for a real treat. This week's Parsha, Mishpatim, contains close to 10% of the commandments in the Torah. 23 thou shalts and 30 thou shalt nots combine for a total of 53 rules and regulations that the newly freed people of Israel are to follow. Throughout the millennia, it has been the job of Jewish leaders to explain and expound upon these laws, ascribing them eternal significance while also imbuing them with contemporary meaning. The Jews, throughout history, were made to be a people of laws. Generation after generation used the foundational text of the Torah to build a robust system of instruction meant to guide every aspect of Jewish life. Like a wick repeatedly dipped in wax, layers of interpretation lacquered and materialized to form a candle by whose light we may navigate the path that unfolds before us. This process we call halakha. Often it is understood as Jewish law, but more literally it means the way to go or the way to walk. And in this parsha we see the makings of the wick. As our ancestors shed the shackles of slavery, they transform into a self-governed society by freely adopting a system of laws. Rules and regulations helped to bind together the masses of mixed multitudes with the force of a common covenant. One Torah, one instruction, one set of laws unites them all as one people. But Jewish law has always been about more than just the statutes. A quick glance at the Talmud reveals that the single greatest work of Jewish legal literature is filled with stories. Halacha, the letter of the law, is meant to be accompanied by its chavruta, its study partner, Agadah, the legends that articulate the law's spirit. And our tradition teaches us that to have one without the other is a detriment to them both. On this issue, Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, the late sage of the 20th century, writes that to maintain the essence of Judaism consists exclusively of halakha is as erroneous as to maintain that the essence of Judaism consists exclusively of Agadah. The interrelationship of the both is the very heart of Judaism. Understood this way, Judaism is a dance between legend and law, between myth and maxim. From our vantage point, then, we might notice a certain deficiency in this week's Torah portion that is so obsessed with statutes. Setting aside the fact that some of them may strike us as outdated, the text of our parsha feels somewhat incomplete. In the sea of mishpatim, surfing wave after wave of halakha, we might wonder, where's the story? Where's the Agadah? Only after 53 densely packed rules do we finally get our answer. At the very end of the parsha, we read one of the most peculiar scenes in all of the Torah. After Moses relays the laws to the people and they agree to uphold them, the text reads as follows. Then Moses and Aaron, Nadav and Avihu, and 70 elders of Israel ascended the mountain. And they saw the God of Israel, Vayir'u et Elohei Yisrael. Now beneath his feet was something like the work of sapphire tiles, something like the substance of the heavens in purity. Yet God did not raise a hand against the leaders of the Israelites. They beheld God. Vayechazu et ha'Elohim, and they ate and drank. According to the story, 74 people saw God. In the biblical framework, is that even possible? Soon, we will read that Moses, who pleaded with God to do the very same thing, was denied such an opportunity. Ki lo yira'eni ha'adam v'chai, because, as God will say, a person cannot see me and live. Something about our scene is very different. God has stayed his hand, preventing what would otherwise have surely been the deaths of the leaders of Israel. And then, just in case we weren't sure, our text doubles down on this encounter in the next verse. Not only did they see God, they beheld God as well. In this moment, the people observe the unobservable. And I'm also struck by how casually the text describes this encounter. The leaders see God, they behold God, and they have a meal? It reads like a scene that plays after the credits have rolled, somewhat out of place and begging for explanation. And the medieval commentators jump on this opportunity. Many chime in to offer their opinions, but among them, I find Rashi's comments the most compelling. He stands out by wholly embracing this theological problem. Could a person really see and behold God? Rashi, quoting Midrash Tanchuma, says, yes, it is possible. He writes, they gazed at God intimately, as though their association with God were a matter of eating and drinking. But why now? Why are the leaders of Israel afforded such a tremendous privilege? What is it about this moment that allows these people to see God and to live? There is another midrash, a writing of rabbinic imagination from the 3rd century, that may help in giving us this answer. Sifrei Devarim tells us, Dorshei Hagadot Omrim, the expounders of the legends would say, Ritzoncha lehakir et misha amar v'haya ha'olam? Is it your wish to recognize he who has created the world? Lamod Haggadah, learn the legends. Shemitoch kach ata makir et misha amar v'haya ha'olam umidavek bidrachav. From within them you will be able to recognize the Holy One and cleave to his ways. In a beautifully subversive twist, the most intimate interaction between people and the divine in Mishpatim, our parsha of rules, is actually found in its Agadah, its brief and fabulous narrative. And it's no coincidence, the Midrash tells us. It couldn't have been any other way. It's precisely the stark contrast between rules and story in the parsha that paints this picture so vividly. As Jews, I don't believe that we're commanded to encounter God. I'm not sure how that would even work. But I do know that we are commanded to encounter our stories. Our parsha, Mishpatim, outlines the way that we might do that. The halachic endeavor in general outlines the way that we might do that. In broad strokes, it is an attempt at living one's life in full accordance with the values of the generations of the past, an instruction offered at most every turn. We might call this a halachic lifestyle. And though we might not be personally familiar with it, we can understand what it looks like. But it takes two to tango. And Jewish law is about much more than just the statutes. What if, instead of a halachic lifestyle, we were to live an agadic one? Where, in the story of our own lives, was God most present? Where is the presence of the divine most intimately involved? Where do we want it to be? I want to suggest that to live an agadic lifestyle is to reflect on these questions and to make decisions that future generations may look to as exemplary models of virtue. I think there, in a legendary transmission of values, we might come to recognize the presence of the divine in our own lives. Tonight, we gather also to remember the lives of the hostages who are no longer with us. As we think about the stories of our lives, we mourn the ending of theirs. May we find comfort in community and solace in our commitment to be keepers of their memory as well. Shabbat Shalom.
"20 years ago, Kelly, my wife, began her first Broadway national tour. She was with the third touring company of Les Miserables. So among many other fun factoids about my life, I sometimes can boast that I know every line of that show by heart because I've seen Les Mis 19 times. But she aces me, of course. She's performed it hundreds of times. And no matter how many times she performs it, no matter how many times I see it, the line in the very penultimate scene of the show just always gets me because it speaks to me so deeply. To love another person is to see the face of God. So there are lots of ways that we can have a divine encounter. It can come through our practice of halakha, our walking the way of Jewish living, and how beautiful it is to look out into a congregation tonight that decided the very best thing I could do for an hour and change on this Friday evening would be to offer some prayers and speak the words and join with my Jewish community. And also, as Micah invited us, to find our own stories enmeshed in the story of the Jewish people, the master story that binds us all as one. Tonight, we can do that not only for ourselves who've come here, but also for our loved ones who are in pain. Friends and family who are grappling with illness, with anxiety, pain, fear, and worry. Our Misha Beirach tonight, of course, includes the families of all who are grieving, the slain hostages who are yearning for the living and the dead to come home. And we'd like to invite you as well to share the names of your loved ones for a prayer of healing. So when my eyes meet yours, if you'd like to stand and speak a name aloud for somebody whom you'd like to bless with a healing prayer, please feel invited to stand and share those names. You can also remain seated and offer your names quietly. Tonight, our WRT community also prays for the healing of Zev Yaakov ben Brachaslava, Binyamin ben Reuven, Jeffrey Millman, Chaika Chana bat Sorafegel, Victor and Sue Shedlin, Ruth Vickers, Elizabeth Dankner, Gloria Byron, Shelley Nadler, Miriam Friedman, Maurice Miller, Alan Isserlis, David Buchdahl, Chava Batsara, Eliyahu Chaim ben Fredel, Emerson Lorenzoni, Jake Cohen, Lorenzo ben Leah, Tzvi Hirsch ben Yehuda, Barry Gitlin, Judy Balsam, Ilana Bat Shmuel, Debbie Kapnick, Sheila Freed, Jenny Kaufman, Ronald Keeves, David Wolf, Gadi Elon ben Pesia, Judith Scheer, Barry Dworkin, and Bruria Batrut. Together with all the names that we are also quietly pronouncing, we can offer a prayer of healing found in your prayer books on 371. As we enter the concluding prayers of our service with Aleinu L'Shabeach, we remember that this prayer concludes the service by saying, Aleinu, it is now up to us to make God's presence known in the world. So at the end of the day, there's no magic path through halacha or agadah that will allow us to behold the face of God and then have lunch. Rather, it's up to us by the way we live, by the way we act, by the stories we tell, by the people we are, by the human beings we can become. We make God appear. Page 586, please rise.
Our meditation before Kaddish this evening is a setting written by the Israeli composer Shuli Rand in the months following October 7th. It's a setting of the 23rd Psalm. This is the Jewish tradition's text of comfort. And Shuli Rand takes one specific line from the text, Gam ki elech begeit salma vet lo ira ra ki ata imadi, words seeking comfort when comfort is hard to find. Even when I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me.
We'd like to ask in the following order for our mourners to rise. If you are within the first 7 days of having laid to rest your loved one, would you please stand at this time? And if you are within Shiloshim, 30 days of remembrance, please rise. Those who are within a first year of having laid to rest a loved one, please rise. And if you're commemorating a yahrzeit, the anniversary of a loved one's passing tonight, please rise. Tizichronam Baruch, may the memories of all of your loved ones be for blessing. We invite the entire congregation to stand with our mourners in love and in fellowship as we recall those taken from the midst of our extended WRT family in the last 4 weeks. Hernan Diaz, father of our custodian Wilver Diaz, Robert Ellis, grandfather of Jessica and Lindsay Myman, Phyllis Thurm, mother of Kevin Thurm, Rosalind Black, mother of Jordan and Ronald Black, David Schulman, husband of Louise Schulman, father of Karen Stolzenberg and Ellen Judson. Jillian Brooke Janko, niece of Ellen and Scott Bacon. Ellen Gossage, cousin of Cheryl Spivak Braun. And Jean Rapport, grandmother of Maren Weinberg. And murdered hostages, Oded Lifshitz, Ariel Bibas, Kfir Bibas. And those the anniversary of whose death we commemorate tonight. Gladys Cynthia Aronson, Ethel Birnbaum, Sylvia Broder, Edith Brown, Ruth Chamlin, Herbert C. Cohen, Leonard Corlin, Ruth Cuba, Ruth Myers, Belle Ecker, Faye Finkelstein, Noel Flagg, William Foreman, Philip Friedman, Robert Friedman, Ruth Berger, Eleanor Levin, Michael Gardner, Miriam Gordon, Ruth Gottfried, Bessie Green, Harold Gross, Gertrude Kagan, Emmanuel Kerwin, Eleanor Klubak, Ann B. Kosar, Abraham Krantz, Remy Landau, Walter Last, Leslie Leventhal, Ann P. Levy, Elfrieda Littman, Mary Emily Mayer, Pearl Meyer, Philip Meyerson, Loretta Miller, Nathan Moros, Sarah Narvaez, Michael Peretz, Harriet Pichon, Gerald Rivers Sugar, Carol Robinson, Renee Rubin, Anna Rublin, Sarah Sacharoff, Felix Safian, Rachel Dehan Sharabi, Irving Silver, Israel Strager, Lillian Weiss, Harold Stoyer, Julia Forsheimer, Murray Steyer, Charles Tallons, Lester E. Tombach, and Dorothy Witter. If there are names to add to our commemoration, or if I've inadvertently mispronounced a loved one's name, please speak them at this time. Let these names always be honored among our people and the human family as we give thanks to the author of life through the words of the Mourner's Kaddish, which can be found in your prayer books on 598. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'izman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam alamei almaya, yiparach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnasei, v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudusha b'richu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalom araba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav hu ya'asei shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Gam ki elech begeit al mavet, lo hirara, ki ata imadi.
We've been joined tonight by our temple president, Maureen Haber, who has the pleasure of telling us all of the nice things that are happening in the coming days at WRT.
Thank you all for joining us this evening. I'd like to thank our greeter, Mike Rahimi, as well a hearty mazel tov for Carolyn Koike and the entire Koike family. Torah study tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. here at WRT or via Zoom. We also have on Thursday, February 27th at 10:15 via Zoom, Dealing with Death, led by Rabbi Platkow. Friday, March 7th, a week from tonight at 6:15, we have Kabbalat Shabbat of Global Resettlement Awareness. Please join us. As well, on Saturday, March 8th at 9 a.m., we have Community Shabbat with Roots. Shabbat Shalom.
So the program on March 7th is a very special Shabbat. It's actually 2 weeks from tonight, and we are celebrating WRT's commitment to resettling people who have fled violence and conflict in foreign countries. WRT participated in a resettlement of two sisters who were fleeing the Central African Republic, Centrafrique. After fleeing a civil war that devastated their country, they became refugees in neighboring Chad and lived in a refugee camp for 5 years before finally, after years and years of applications and scrutiny, being approved to come to the United States under the refugee program. This was an effort begun at WRT in the summer of 2016, and which they were successfully able to attain in 2019. They've been living in White Plains for the last almost 6 years. They have learned English. They have gainful employment. They are incredible, contributing, recently made citizens of the United States of America. And Mariam and Ashta Ali Khamis, 2 of 7 sisters, the other 5 of whom are still in Chad with their mother, a brother having been killed in war, father also. They are going to tell some of their story on that Friday night. We've intentionally allowed them to live as private, aspirational, and now citizens. And their own wish is to tell a little bit of their story, and we will also honor the many, many volunteers in our community who contributed to this incredible effort. So really hope you'll come. Of course, come every Shabbat, but we hope you'll come on Friday, March 7th to hear their story. And then the next morning, we hope you'll come back for our community Shabbat welcoming the organization Roots, which is a grassroots organization founded by an American Orthodox rabbi, Rav Hanan Schlesinger, who emigrated from New York, made Aliyah to Israel, lives in the West Bank, and had his entire mindset turned around about his Palestinian neighbors when he actually began to engage in dialogue with one. So Rabbi Schlesinger and his Palestinian co-director of the program and a dialogue counterpart, a gentleman named Mr. Khaled Awad, will be with us on Shabbat morning. I am sure that their story will be provocative and inspirational and at times challenging. That's the intention. But you won't be spoon-fed. You're there. We'd love for you to join and ask questions and engage in dialogue with our special guests. So that's on Saturday morning the 8th, and there will be Nash, and it will be a lovely morning. We're going to conclude our service tonight by lifting up grateful hearts that we can gather in a spirit of blessing. We hope you'll join us for an Oneg Shabbat. No guarantee that we provided enough catering, but we're really happy that you came here tonight. Would the congregation please rise?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratza banu, v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lemaaseh v'reishit. Ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh, zecher litziat Mitzrayim. Ki vanu vacharta, v'yotanu kidashta, mikohavim, v'shabbat kodshecha, ve'ava uvratzon, inchatanu. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat.
So we learned that after you have a kind of God experience, you have to eat. I guess you work up an appetite, perceiving the divine. So Micah and Rabbi Plakow, come join us as we invite the whole congregation. Put your arms around the people close to you. Be embraced and embrace the people around you as we make motzi together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. B'teavon Shabbat Shalom.
Beautiful.